Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about, as RV travelers, ways to save money on the road.
So we'll be right back and tell you all about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we go on talking about how we save money on the road as RVers, whether full-time or part-time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button there in the bottom right corner and hit that notification bell, ding ding, so you get notice of when we produce another video. So we're going to talk about ways we save money on the road as RVers and
as travelers.
This isn't just for full-time RVers.
No, it's for everybody.
Seasonal, weekend.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first thing, Dan.
Our favorite thing to do is to mooch dock.
Mooch dock. Well, yeah, because we're like with friends and family.
It's a variation of boondocking. It really is. Personally, we prefer to boondock, but we like to mooch dock too. We like to stay in our friends' driveways, families' driveways, stuff like that. While we're there, we can save money in a lot of ways. If they have a plug-in for us, if they have water for us, stuff like that. We're not paying campground fees.
Yeah, and you know, with the mooch docking, you're getting the benefit of being with your friends closer than you would at a campground.
And you still have your space because you're still in your RV. So you still can get your get-togethers and stuff, but you still have your space too.
Yeah, and you're not staying at a hotel or whatever. You don't feel like you're imposing on them.
Exactly.
Right. So
it's a variation of boondocking, lot docking, mooch docking. It's all kind of rolls together a little bit.
Mooch docking is when you're at friends or family or someone you know.
Right.
Okay. And then lot docking is like Walmart, Bass
lot
Pro, Cracker Barrel.
Sure.
They call it lot because you're in a parking lot. And then, of course, you know, boondocking is when you're off the grid.
Right.
And you're, you know, out on BLM land or forestry land.
No connections or anything like that.
Yeah, which is, we like that better.
Yeah. And then there's smooch docking. That's when you're boondocking all by yourself with this great view of the mountains or the lakes. And then somebody comes up and they get real close to you because I think they're afraid to be out there by themselves.
Didn't we learn that from Nick and Julie
Julie
Marshall?
Marshall came up with the term, they're smooch docking. Okay,
yeah.
But you know what? You may make a new friend that way too.
Well, yeah, or not.
Or not.
Okay, so the second one I'm going to talk about this is we eat out less.
Correct.
Now, during your first year of RVing, it is so easy to get caught up into you want to go eat, you want to try this, you want to go there. And let me tell you, we learned the hard way. Number one, that got old. It got expensive. And we got fat.
And you get your first year 15, which is similar to the freshman 15 when you go to college.
Yeah. So you wanna kind of pare down. You know, eat out less. It's healthier.
It is
cheaper, and So eat out less. All right. So travel slower.
We have noticed a significant difference in how fast we travel. Now, we used to have a big 1-ton Ram, and it got about 9 miles per gallon on average travel days. We could push it a little harder and drop that down to 7.5 miles per gallon, or we could slow down a little bit and get it up to 10, maybe 10.5. With our new motorhome, it's also a significant difference. We have found that if we drive over 62 miles per hour, we get significantly less fuel mileage.
Right.
So by slowing down a mile or two per hour, you're going to consume less fuel. It's just nature, and it also allows you to enjoy your day, enjoy your drive, and view the sights and things.
Now, we're gonna do a real quick comparison here. When we had the fifth wheel, we were huge. The fifth wheel was 42 feet, and then the truck was, what, an extra 20, 25?
25.
Okay. So we had this rule that we were out the door no later than 8 or 9. We were parked for the day by 2 or 3.
Sure.
Okay. Because when you have a big rig, that is a tiring day.
It is very tiring.
And depending on the terrain, if you're going up mountains or if you're driving through cities, that's a little bit more stressful. So you're going to want to not travel as far in distance.
Right.
But now that we're in the motorhome, it is easy to get caught up with, let's do 300, 400 miles.
Yeah.
And then you're so tired, you're not going to enjoy the next day or the next week.
Another way you can save some money on your travel days is we have friends that have fuel cards.
Oh,
The fuel cards allow them to fuel for significant savings at large truck stops. Now, we don't do that ourselves with our motorhome because we're so small we can duck in for fuel anywhere. But everybody knows that when you go to a Pilot or a Flying J, you pay significantly more pennies per gallon when you get your diesel fuel or your gasoline. Well, these fuel cards allow our friends with large RVs to save some money on their travel day. So that's something you should look into. We don't have one because of our size, but it is definitely something you should check into.
And when you do travel slower, go ahead and pack that lunch. If
Sure.
you were in a truck, pack a lunch box. And you know, if you have something already set in your refrigerator, so you can pull off at a roadside rest or just kind of relax. This isn't about, you know, going full speed ahead. RVing is supposed to be enjoyable.
And that comes back to saving money by not eating out.
Yep. Okay. All right. So this has been a really, really big not change for us because we've always done this, but because of the COVID, there's a lot of businesses that are closed, the museums,
Movie theaters,
so
bars.
yeah, so you might have to shift gears a little bit in how you enjoy where you're going. And so we, like I said, we've hiked. That is one of our favorite things. We also kayak, and we're getting ready to get some e-bikes. But so instead of paying admissions to museums, because you want to pace yourself, you know, you can end up going to, for example, Gettysburg, okay? And all those museums, when you start adding those up, you're spending, for a family of 4, you're spending, you know, close to $500.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if you pare it down, you know, put those walking shoes on.
Yep.
Pack a little day pack with your lunch, because remember, eating out is expensive.
Self-guided auto tour.
Yeah. And we talked about that in our pandemic video, which we'll put a link in so you can watch that. But instead of paying for tours that could, you know, beat up your wallet a bit, look for venues that are free,
Right.
lower cost.
Right.
If you're traveling with a bunch of friends, see if you can get a group rate.
Sure.
And
Group rates,
always ask for discounts.
military discounts, senior discounts, ARP, Good Sam, stuff like that. Use your own equipment. Recently, we kayaked in the Apostle Islands.
Yeah.
Took our own kayaks. We noticed there were some rental kayaks out. I did a little research later on, Lisa. Those rental kayaks were $200 per person to rent that kayak for 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Well, and our kayaks cost $250
a piece.
So think about that. If it may involve you getting your own equipment.
Right.
We went to the Mackinac Island, and we ended up, for regular bicycles, we ended up paying $100
To rent 2 bicycles.
to rent 2 bikes. So
I could have bought a couple at a yard sale and thrown them on the back of the Jeep for 20 bucks a piece, probably.
Exactly. So think about ways you could enjoy your travels.
Sure.
And you know what? When you do that, you're going to get to see more of things that the typical person won't see.
Yeah, so we encourage you, use your own equipment when you can.
Yeah. All right. So one of the other things, and actually I've done quite well with it since we started RVing, because I admit, before RVing, I love to spend money.
Out of boredom.
Well, or you think you have to have it.
Right.
Moving into an RV, you do become somewhat of a minimalist.
You do. You really do.
In any way, don't be tempted to spend. You know, really think about what RV you're living in. Okay? But now that we're in a smaller motorhome, and like, think about this. I can't buy magnets anymore because our refrigerator
we don't have any magnetic surfaces.
Yeah. You know, books or even t-shirts, you just can't buy everything. So take lots of pictures. There, you know, once you have a good phone or a camera, you know, it doesn't cost anything to take those pictures.
Sure, position yourself in your travels to take full advantage of nature and things that don't cost you any money. Things that are free. Sunset is free.
Yeah.
Watching a sunrise is free. Going to the beach is free. You may encounter a parking fare or whatever, but it doesn't cost anything to see the ocean.
Well, and
watching nature is free.
It's amazing. Just you know, we had in Galveston, Texas. We were kind of watching our money, and we took our picnic blanket to the beach and had a sunset.
And we flew a kite. We
did.
bought a cheap kite at a
that.
Dollar General. We went and flew a kite. It was really cool.
Yeah, so there are other avenues of saving money.
Sure.
So don't be tempted to, you know, go out and think you have to buy something or you have to do something that costs an exuberant amount of money.
True.
So, you know, keep that in mind. This is you. Do your own maintenance.
We do. We do all of our own maintenance on our motorhome and on our Jeep. That includes washing them, oil changes, things like that, tire rotations, anything we can do ourselves, we do. It saves us a lot of money. We use products on the road like Wash Waxall. If we are at a campground that doesn't allow us to wash the vehicles or anything like that with their water, we use Wash Waxall to keep them well maintained. We take full advantage if we're lot docking with a friend or boondocking or mooch docking with a friend. Hey, can I change my oil in your driveway? And then we take the oil to AutoZone and dump it or whatever. But we do all of our own maintenance and all of our own caretaking that we possibly can do to save money.
And when you do our maintenance, like for example, oil changes and that, you always do, because there's times that you order Amazon. So you do have to think about where you're going to be situated.
You do.
You can get shipments, your packages and that.
And we're also very particular. With us doing it, I know that it's done to the standard that I want it done to. If I wash my Jeep, I know that I am washing it looking for scratches and stuff like that. If I just take it to a car wash and blow through, it's $10 thrown out the window. It's probably not a very good job anyways. So we really prefer to take care of our own stuff.
Well, and come on, every time you've washed the motorhome, it rains. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
I mean, but if you went to Blue Beacon and you spent, you know, $80 to get your RV washed and waxed, and then it rained, you feel really, really crappy.
We've been to one Blue Beacon in almost 7 years on the road.
Yep. So it's not our thing. And here's the deal: it gives us a little separation.
Sure.
He has his thing to do. I have my things to do. So there's quite a few reasons of doing your own maintenance.
Sure.
And one of those is saving money.
Yep.
But the other is satisfaction.
And you learn your equipment. If you do your own oil changes and your own maintenance and stuff on your generators and your engines and your chassis and stuff like that, you learn your equipment and you can find the problem before it becomes something that takes you off the road.
That's a good point.
Alrighty then.
Which leads us into, we were just talking about washing our own RV. And even when we were had motorcycles or even our car, when you wash your own RV and you're going over every inch, you're going to notice if there's anything that needs to repair. That little piece of paint that chipped off and you don't want it to rust.
The loose caulk.
Yes, yeah. So washing and taking care of your RV and your vehicles, you're going to be on top of the game and do that, what you call pre-maintenance. What do you call that? PMS?
Preventive maintenance system.
PMS.
I have PMS. Unlike yours, mine actually accomplishes something.
It's really like that in the Always on Liberty RV. Never a dull moment. But hey, it makes life and RV life and marriage fun.
Fun.
Okay, and one of our other tips is RV memberships.
Yeah.
Now, when we first started RVing, we didn't really have but Good Sam and Passport America.
Those were the first two we bought.
Yeah. And then going through and learning more and more, we had to think about which ones were more fitting to us.
Right, yeah, you need memberships that go along with your RV size, your RV lifestyle.
Yes. One of our favorites is Harvest Host.
I like Harvest Host a lot.
Well, that's because you like beer, wine, and
Well, they don't all gravitate, so they don't all gravitate toward food or alcohol.
No,
there's
some are
museums
farms.
and farms and lots of things associated with Harvest Host. Golf courses is one of the things they offer today. Memberships to golf courses. I don't golf, but I like clubhouses.
And we can get lunch there.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're big Harvest Host fans.
Now, for example, the Harvest Host, though, now this goes back to the saving money thing, is while yes, it is a recommended, highly recommended courtesy that you support your Harvest Host, we like going on weekends because you know what, you get a free concert out of the deal.
A lot of times you do get a free music venue and stuff like that. You're not dealing with campgrounds and stuff like that, which are normally just bonkers on a weekend.
Yeah. So, and then the other one, we've not used it, I think, but one time, is Boondockers Welcome.
Right.
And we're going to put those links in the description so you can check those out.
Sure.
But the memberships, we have Escapees.
Yeah.
We belong to the Winnebago owners.
Yep.
And there's a couple other ones. And it's not only about getting discounts on camping. For example, WIT and Escapers and that, you can get discounts on insurance.
And parts, tires.
Tires is the big thing.
Yeah.
So it's more than just campgrounds in parking.
Back to Harvest Host real quick. Here's my philosophy on that. I don't have a problem spending a few bucks.
Right.
But I would rather spend $15 for a bottle of wine in a very nice vineyard setting and share it with you at a picnic table or outside our RV, instead of spending $45 for a campground where I'm crammed in slide to slide.
And you still have to buy that bottle of wine.
Right, and I still got to buy that bottle of wine, and now I'm at a setting I don't even want to sit outside and drink it. Where if I'm at a Harvest Host, we fire up our little propane fire pit. We always ask permission, of course. We can put our lawn chairs out there and we can sit and enjoy ourselves. So really our price of admission after our membership is like a bottle of wine. It's 15 bucks. And that's pretty cheap.
But look what you also get. They're locals. Number one, you're supporting the local economy, which makes you feel good.
And these people have great stories, great family stories of how they've developed the land and how long they've been in the business. It's really cool. It's a great program.
But they also are great resources of telling you what's in the area.
Yep.
And now, granted, the rule is you can only do one night. Right. There are occasional times where a Harvest Host, if you pull in late and say you miss their wine tasting, provided they have the space for you, they may let you stay another night, and they'll say, hey, why don't you stay another night and go over to the Arboretum or this museum or whatever, and then catch our wine tasting later in the day. Yeah. It's a win-win for both of us.
It is.
It's just pretty cool. So have you thought of any other ways to save money on the road?
Well, we could get rid of those 2 furry cats.
They
not
eat
have to
a
feed
lot.
those guys.
Yeah, they eat a lot.
But they are pretty good companions, so I guess we have to keep them.
Yeah. So if you have any ideas of saving money on the road as an RVer, why don't you put those in the comments?
Put them in the comments for
because
us.
we like to share. It's a community. Share them with all those readers because we may not know about them or something we overlooked in this.
Yeah, we're always looking to learn something new.
Yeah, we're always learning.
We're old dogs, but we like new tricks.
Yeah. Well,
I'm an old dog.
So there you go, our ways of saving money on the road as RVers. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and again, that notification bell. Check our description. Don't forget to check out our blog, alwaysonliberty.com, because we do have some helpful tips and some really cool places to go when you're on the road, places you may not have thought about. So that wraps it up, Dan.
Sounds good.
And as we say,
underway is the only way.
Thank you for tuning in, and check back later. Thanks. Let me make sure that started.
Did it start? Are we on? Test?
You're such a goof.
That's my life.
Okay. Hey guys. Why don't you start it? Okay.
What do you want me to say?
You want the word how we save money on the road as full-time or not necessarily if you're full-time or
Okay.
a part-time RVer.
You're an RV traveler. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're an RV traveler.
All right.
How we save money on the road.
Do I have to welcome them? Welcome to the channel.
You can say that.
Okay.
But get this in the first 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay?